Now in our detail view controller, we need to have a method that we call in order to update which row is clicked on. So we'll go ahead and add that method to the detail view controller, as well as the code now in the detail view controller M file, which will get called and update the row automatically so that the view always has the most current row that was clicked on. Let's go ahead and pick a location here to add that. We'll add it here right before our comments. And there's the code. And I do have some logging going on so that you can see in the debugger what row was clicked on. Now in our root view controller M file, we'll go ahead and call that update row method within our navigation logic every time a submarine is clicked on. Now we'll go to the detail view controller and add the code to the viewDidLoad method that will get called to also display which row was clicked on. We do that every time that we click on a row, but we also need to do it when it's first initialized. Now we have a bit of important house cleaning to perform in order to clean up some memory in both our classes. So we'll release the memory for our label as well as releasing the memory for our detail view class. Very important that you do that. Now going to our detail view zip file, we'll go ahead and click on the file owner and drag the outlet over to the view and click on the view outlet. And now we'll bring up the label on the view and click on the file owner and do a control click over to the label and select the label message variable so that that gets populated automatically. Now let's go ahead and save our zip file, and we're now ready to go ahead and do a build and test this all out, making sure that our view gets called and is populated with the row that was clicked on. Looks like it should work. Here's our table. We go ahead and click on the third row. It says the third row is clicked on. Clicked on the second row shows up, and let's click on the eighth row. So everything's looking real good. Well, what if we want to do enable editing of this particular list, so that if they click on the edit button at the top, we can go ahead and edit our list. So let's go ahead and modify the code that was provided nicely by the Cocoa Touch development team for us that saves us a lot of this coding. Now I'm uncommenting out a lot of the code that was provided for us in order to do allow editing of this particular table view. Okay, so I uncommented out the code, and let's go ahead and run the application. There's our edit button. If I click on edit, I can go ahead and delete a row, and you look, it looks like it's working. Well, looks are deceiving. While the user interface is handling the actual animation and deletion correctly on the list, we've actually done nothing to remove the names in our code from the array that we use to populate the list. So whenever something happens to cause our list to be redrawn, the names just simply pop back up. So let's go ahead and add that logic. It won't take too long, and we'll have this working. Alright, let's go and look at our array that we're housing all of our submarines with. The content array is declared as a NS array. NS arrays in Objective-C you cannot modify the contents of them, but you can with a mutable array. So let's go ahead and change the content array from an NS array to a mutable array in both the header file and the .m file. And then let's add in our editing logic just before we delete the row in the editing view. Let's go ahead and remove that row from our content array. So we know the row that was clicked on. We can call remove object at index method for NS mutable array, and we're taken care of. Let's go ahead and compile the application, run it, and let's see if it works. Let's go ahead and click on a row. That works. Let's go ahead and click on another row. Let's edit. We'll remove a submarine from the list, remove another one. We have no trailing going on. It looks like the redraws are happening correctly, and when we click on a row, the right row appears. So our application looks like it's complete. We now have editing. We now have a full table list. We can add a new view. When we click on it, we can go ahead and delete items from our list. So we've really accomplished a lot with a relatively little amount of code. Well, there you have it. There's a demonstration complete of the UITableView demo. I hope you found this demonstration useful and helpful. If you have any comments, I'd like to hear them, as well as any questions at gary@excelme.com. You can go and download the source code for this application at www.excelme.com. And if people find this useful and helpful, I'll do more. Good luck and have fun.